Hey YouTube, this is a free extract from my larger Illustrator course called Illustrator Essentials. You can check it out on bringyourownlaptop.com. If you want to follow along with this video, there's exercise files, okay? Those are free to download. You can go and download those and there'll be a link in the description, okay? So you can play along. One last thing is there's a cheat sheet as well. So there is a PDF you can download from bringyourownlaptop.com. Look for resources, okay? It's a free PDF. You can download it, print it up, stick it next to your computer while you're doing these videos. All right, enjoy the video. Bye now. Hi there, in this video we're going to use a very exciting fun tool called Liquify. We're going to take this, I'm calling it an ice cream, and then we're going to smash it to bits using different techniques using the Liquify tool. We'll also do it with text at the end as well. Let's get in there and learn the Liquify tools. All right, to get started, I've got a file ready for us. You don't need to open it because all it is a blue background, and it is called Liquify. Can't even find it, liquify1.ai. Okay, so blue background, we're gonna draw our ice cream real quick, okay, or ice block. I'm gonna grab a rectangle tool. I'm not too worried about the fill and stroke at the moment. So it's gonna be my ice cream, and this is going to be the stick. Okay, I want to make sure they're lined up next to each other. So black arrow, I'm going to use my align panel just to get them to lined up. And then I want the top using the white arrow. I'm going to select these two top corners and drag these down. Cool, and bottom ones I'm just going to do, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to just do little ones down the bottom here. Awesome. Cool, so next thing I want to do is cut it in half to have that kind of like halvesy look. So I've got a line straight up and down. Okay, I've used my line segment tool and I held shift while I dragged it down to get it to go straight. Again, I want to line them all up center. And now with them all selected, I'm going to grab my Pathfinder. Where are you, Pathfinder? You are that one there. Okay, Shape Builder. Don't know why I called it the Pathfinder. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of things first, minus these little ends off. Okay, here you go. And then I'm going to fill in these bits with a color. So I'm going to go fill. I'll go. What color do I want? I'm going to go to my color mixer and down here just pick a chocolatey looking color. It's a tough one to do. Okay, and click on this one. And now I'm going to go back here to pick a slightly darker color. Now, by default, you're either at CMYK or RGB, depending on what you decided for the document. Actually, I decided, so it's going to be RGB. RGB has another way of working, HSB. I think I've used it before in this course. I like it because it has this like brightness slider. It's the same as RGB, it's just a different way of interacting with it. So I'm going to make it a little bit darker and click it over here. Okay, and I'm going to pick a stick color. Okay, and click in there. And I'm going to not like that, so I'm going to go back and make another one. I like to stretch out these tutorials. And I'm going to pick a slightly darker color for the other side of the stick. Cool, we're practicing, right? And in terms of strokes, I'm going to go to none. Okay, actually to do the strokes, you can't be on the Shape Builder tool. Black arrow, everything selected, and then go to stroke, go to none. Okay, that's going to be my popsicle-y thing. Cola flavored or chocolate flavored, whatever you like. So I'm going to make a few versions of this. I'm going to have it about that sort of size. I'll have one. I'm going to rotate it. Okay, rotate it around a bit more. So I have one there, two there. I'm holding Alt while I'm dragging. Okay, so I've got my black arrow. I've got everything selected. Start dragging. Hold Alt. You get a duplicate. So I want 6 of these in total. Any which way you can do. You can just copy and paste them if you like. So let's actually get started in the liquifying. So the liquify tools are all hidden underneath this width tool. Okay, and there's a bunch of them in here. So we're going to start with the warp tool. Okay, click on that one. Now, by default, I'm not sure if your brush is going to be the exact same as mine. It's probably not. Let's double click the warp tool and you can just kind of copy what I have here. There's the brush size. Okay, that's the main ones. So brush size, I'm going to make mine, say 50 points by 50 points. Intensity is quite important. We're going to leave it at 50 at the moment, but some of the other tools will need some intensity. Now all I'm going to do is click, hold, and drag. I'm doing this kind of like drippy, droopy thing. That's what I'm trying to do at least. Okay. All right, so that is the Liquify tool. Okay, let's have a look at some of the other ones. Let's use the Twirl tool. It's quite cool. Now, Twirl tool by default is way too strong. Okay, actually that came out all right. You can double click it if you're finding it a bit too strong and turn the intensity down to say like 20%. Okay, what I like doing with this is I like clicking it and it's going a bit slow, but click and drag slowly. You get these kind of cool like little things going on. Experiment with it. Okay, I'm gonna do the top up here. I'm gonna click hold, and as it's going, I'm dragging to get this kind of like cool thing going on. Cool, that is my twirl one. I'm just gonna go through these, okay? You can obviously stop the video, just go through them yourself. Okay, I'm gonna go to pucker. This one probably needs a bigger brush. Okay, if I double click it, I'm gonna probably need like 150. And what it does is, that one's on really strong. Even at 20%, it goes and shrinks down. So you can kind of see what it does, but you have to play around with the sizes and intensity quite a bit. This one here probably just needs 2%, okay? And that might be a bit low, but nope, 2% is fine. Okay, just kind of squiggle it down. Yeah. I'm gonna undo that. Let's have a look at one of the other tools. Bloat. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. All right, yeah, cool. Let's have a look at another one. Not double clicking on it, hold them down. Scallop, crystallize, and wrinkle all have very similar, they work slightly different, but just practice with, I've only given you 6, even though there's 7 to go through, so you might have to make a duplicate of the last one. But scallop kind of does that, kind of pushes it in. Crystallize does the same thing, but kind of like pushes it out rather than in on itself. And we'll double use the last one, wrinkle. Wrinkle just kind of wrinkles the edges. This one's a bit weird. You got to kind of like, probably have to turn the intensity up on wrinkle because we're at like 2%, right? Let's go up to 50% and let's zoom in to have a little look at what it's doing. So watch this. If I click on it, it kind of wrinkles the outside. Okay, so that's far too much intensity, but you're getting the feel for these Liquify tools, right? Pretty cool. You can do some fun stuff with, let's do some type. Okay, so I'm going to open up file, open as Liquify 2. Okay, and this is a part of our exercise or your project. We're going to do one together. We'll do this top thing and then you'll do your own. Okay, so to do the Liquify tool with text, it won't work, okay, if the text is still editable text. So what I need to do is I need to go to type and go to this one that says create outlines. We looked at it earlier. Click on that and then you can go through your tools, and I want you to go through and kind of, I don't know, do something liquidy, gassy, and solidy for all of these ones. It's kind of like the water and their different constitutions. So we'll do maybe twirl for liquid. And remember, you're gonna have to go and change some of these intensities because that's probably a bit quick. Double click, play around brush sizes, play around. I can't help myself. I want to play with this one too. Okay, I'm gonna get 10%. Okay, I'll do liquid with you. And do you have to have it selected? I don't think so. Okay, I've selected off in the background with a black arrow, and now I can do it. What I might do is kind of through it, and then there we go. Can't even read it anymore. You might do something nicer. Okay, so do liquid, do gas, do solid, and then down here I'd like to type out your name. Okay, not my name, and make a font. Okay, pick a color, make it nice and big, and then start playing around with it. We're outlining it first. And then send me a copy. Okay, post it in the projects, in the comments. I love to see a screenshot of what you're up to. All right, that is going to be it, my friends, for the Liquify tool. Hey there, in this video, we're gonna vectorize things. Take images like this and do cool stuff like this with them. And then take cool images of this handsome man, it's me. Okay, and do this kind of stencil thing with me. And then do this kind of like 3D anthographic kind of thing. I think I've said that wrong, but you get the idea, okay? We're gonna turn images into graphics and vector and be able to edit them and color them all in Adobe Illustrator. Let's go and do it now. All right, so first up, we're gonna bring in an image. Okay, so a JPEG or a PNG or a PSD from Photoshop, anything will work. Let's go to File and go to Place. We're gonna start with our exercise files. We'll start with that bike that we had earlier. Okay, so we're gonna bring it in. I'm gonna drag it, it's quite a big image, so I'm gonna make it this kind of size. And with it selected, with my black arrow, my live trace, and that's the magic thing, okay, is right there. Click on live trace. Now you can pick one of these. Let's just start with 3 colors, okay, and give it a look. Your machine will churn away, the fans will come on, and it'll stress out trying to do it. Give it a sec, I'm filling now, come on. And nearly there, done. Cool, huh? Okay, it goes through and kind of vectorizes it, give it that kind of, I don't know, hand-drawn vector look. Okay, you can go and adjust it and say, actually, I don't want 3 colors, I would like 6 colors, and it'll go through and do it. I'll speed this up. Okay, so it didn't take too long, but yeah, that's what it looks like in 6 colors. If you want a bit more control rather than the presets, click on this option here, and that'll open up this panel. And it gives you loads of control, like crazy amount, the exact amount of colors you want. You can go into advanced, like this is not enough. You can go to advanced and it gets super nerdy. Okay, so yeah, have a play around. It's kind of really up to you what it wants to look like. I'm gonna show you a couple of other tricks by kind of doing some black and white stuff now. But one of the things we might wanna do is, actually I'm gonna go back to 3 colors. So might want to speed this up again. Now, let's say that I like this and I want to use it, maybe change some colors and move it. It's all kind of stuck together. It's kind of like you're halfway through an effect. Okay, you can still see it says live trace over here. When you're finished, you need to kind of hit expand. That kind of like says, I'm done with that messing around with that effect, and it's going to turn it into vectors that I can play around with now. All right, and what I want to do is I'm going to click off in the background, have nothing selected, and at the moment it's one big kind of giant group. And what I'd like to do is I can use my white arrow, click in the background, and just click on one little part. You can see I can drag it off. Okay, so I've turned it into like, yeah, you've lots of little shapes. Now, say I want to recolor maybe this color. Now I can hold Shift and go crazy trying to select them all. So what you can do is you can just pick one color, go up to Select, go to Same. I like to select everything in this document that has the same fill color. It goes and selects just that color all the way through it. And I can go through now and pick something outrageous. Okay, so that's a nice way to kind of get in there with a bit more detail. So that is with it selected, there's an option down here called Expand. So I like this, but I'm going to do something else. I'm going to just drag him to the side there with my black arrow. And we're going to draw the thing you saw at the beginning there, just the black outline plus the colory thing. So let's bring in an image. Okay, I'm using my shortcut, Command Shift P or Control Shift P. And there's one in there called, it's got my name. Where am I? I am Daniel Walter Scott. Can't even find myself. There I am there. So use the Daniel Walter Scott 1. Okay, so I'm going to bring it in. Again, it's another big image, so I'm just going to kind of drag it down. So we're going to run into problems with this one. So I want it to go to live trace. That's cool. I want black and white because I want this kind of like stencil look. The trouble with it is that there's a background and it's kind of interfering with everything. It looks kind of cool, right? I could go and to my options and drag. The main one is threshold. Okay, I can drag it lower and higher depending on what you want. You can see kind of gets rid of the background, not quite, maybe this way. It doesn't, I know, because I played with it. So I'm gonna say, close that, and I'm actually going to delete it, because what we're going to do is we're going to jump to Photoshop, because we need to kind of tidy up the background. I'm going to show you a nice, quick and dirty way to do that, and it works perfect for the stencil look. So in Photoshop, I've opened up that same image. Here it is. And I'm just going to do a really quick selection. Now yours is might not be grayscale yet, so you can do that. You might go to adjustments. There's a few ways in Photoshop, but adjustments, and this one here does a good job. Click on black and white, and you can play with these settings if you want to, or just leave it. Okay, now to continue on, you need to make sure the background's selected, and we need to name it. So double click the word background, and we're just going to call it Dan. Okay, anything, just call it anything. It needs to get that little lock off it. So next thing I want to do is delete the background, and I'm just going to use the quick selection tool. Okay, it's really awesome. And what I do is I click, hold, and drag. You see as I drag, it kind of expands out, and eventually it goes, hey, you mean all of this? And it's pretty clever. Okay, and I'm going to drag over here, and I'm just going to drag around the edges. Okay, not over me. You see it's kind of automatically done a good enough selection. Okay, I'd love to go into loads of details. I'm just about to start a Photoshop course if you're keen on that, but for the moment, let's just do some basic stuff. I'm going to zoom in. There's a few things it's accidentally got. It's got my ears pretty good, the hair pretty good. It's missed this glasses bit, so I'm going to hold down the Alt key. Okay, and watch this. If I click over it and just drag around here, eventually it starts going, did you mean all this? Not too worried about my ear. Again, I'd like to spend a lot of time on this, but we're not going to. So where else is there any problems? Just looking down here in the checkered shirt. I'm looking for that. It's a little hard to see the kind of marching ants. So I'm going to hold Alt and just rub across the shirt here. Don't worry if it's not great. It's we're doing it for a stencil, remember. So where are you going? Down here. Grab all this. If you get too much, say you come along here and you go too far out, you're like, oh no, then let go of all the keys and just paint it back in. okay, and just work your way around. Checking basics. There's a little bit across here, so I'm holding down the Alt key on a PC or the Option key on a Mac. Okay, that'll do. So what I'd like to do now is just delete the background. I'm just going to hit delete on my keyboard. I know if you're a Photoshop man or lady, that's a bad thing to do, but it's going to work for what we want to do. I'm going to now save this thing. So I'm going to save it, and it's going to stay as a Photoshop file. I'm going to put it in my exercise files. I'm going to leave it in here for you in case you want to cheat and just use this one. It's called Daniel Walter Scott 3. Ready to go, and that's it. So we just kind of like tidied up the background and made it black and white. Let's go into Illustrator now, bring in that file, Daniel Walter Scott 3, drag it out. Okay, missing part of my head. It's okay, quick selection, remember, because Live Trace is gonna be pretty forgiving, and I'm gonna go to black and white logo now. And this is gonna give me the effect that I was looking for. I'm gonna go to my options, and in here I can play around with more or less. Kind of, what am I gonna do? I have no idea. I'm just gonna drag it around now and get it to a feeling, you know, something that I want. Something that looks like me. Kind of like it where there's like a bit of a pupil going on in there. It's kind of cool. What I might do is I might like two options on different sides of my face because there's a big shadow. I might copy and paste it and kind of combine the two. But for the moment, I like it. Remember, when you're finished, okay, we're going to click expand. Okay, and now it's kind of broken apart. Now that might be it. Okay, you might be happy with this kind of stencil look. Now, if you want to continue on with the kind of, I can never pronounce it right. I have to write it down in front of me. I can't even find it. It's called Anaglyphic. Probably said that wrong, but it's that kind of 3D look that's quite popular. I'm going to show you here in Google Images. So this kind of like, it's a way of, it's been used as design style, that's why I'm using it, but it's kind of used for 3D. Remember these guys, 3D glasses? Okay, this kind of coloring here, it adds a bit of a 3D effect. And it looks quite cool just used for type, or in this case, the silhouette. To make this work, I'm gonna select it with my black arrow. And what I wanna do is ungroup it, because it's, the main thing is this box around the outside that it comes with, okay? So I wanna select on it and delete it. It does nothing except get in the way. Okay, so now it's all individual parts again. So what I'd like to do is select it and group it back together. Okay, and yeah, so I'd like to do, I need three versions, the black one and the two colors. So I'm gonna select it, copy it. And what I'd like to do is I'm gonna use my white arrow. Okay, and remember, click in it like we did this one and say I'd like to, because what I wanna do is fill it with a color. But if I select it all and say, actually, I want to fill you with that, say, magenta, it kind of does something a bit weird. Makes me wear sunglasses. You might like that. But what I want to do is with the white arrow, the direct selection tool, click on one part and say select, same, fill color, and then this will work better. Okay, so I'm going to pick the cyan, sorry, the magenta, and it's probably meant to be a red. I'm happy with this magenta for the moment. You might go and find the official colors. Then I'm going to paste this back in. That's why I copied it. Okay, so I can go back to this one. And I want to move them up here, and I'm going to grab my white arrow, select them, select, same, fill color, and I'll use a red, the red. Oh, no, I'm up to the cyan part. Okay, cyan, cool. And then I'm going to paste another one, and I've got all my three options. What I might do is select them all, get them to align center for both of them. And then I'm just going to kind of move them a little bit side to side. Cool. So I'm going to move you that way. And I might grab the blue one and move them a little bit that way. That's the kind of thing I was going for. You saw at the beginning there. Maybe the steps are a little bit big. Okay, might zoom in there now, but you can totally finish this video because I'm just going to adjust it a little bit. I want to try and make it look cooler. Seemed cool in my head. Maybe I shouldn't use pictures of myself. Might be cooler with a cooler person. All right, now this is useful for lots of things. Also for things, maybe you've done a hand drawing and you want to turn it into vector. That's really good for that. So just take a photo of it or scan it and then vectorize it, use Live Trace. Another good thing is if you've got a logo and you've got some like primitive brand that you're doing work for and they've got this really bad logo, you can print it off, okay, and vectorize it and try and sharpen it up. It might be a really old pixelated thing that you want to try and tidy up finally. So now it is class project time. It's time to use yourself or significant other or your kid, okay? Anything you like. I'd like you to see if you can make something in a similar sort of vein to this, some sort of stencil looking thing. You don't have to do the, where is it? Wrote it down. Anaglyphic thing. Okay, you can do any sort of style you like. But I'd love to see it again, okay, in the projects or in the comments. Please show me what you did. I'd like to see it. I'll comment, give you tips, or just high fives. All right, that's it for Live Trace in Adobe Illustrator. Hi, what did you think of the video? If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Also leave me a comment, let me know what you liked about it. Also, this is kind of a short part of a longer course, okay? If you want to check that out, it's at bringyourownlaptop.com. This is the Essentials course, okay? There is also another course, there is an advanced course, okay, for Illustrator, and also a UI web app design version of Illustrator course as well. Check all those out. Also, it's quite a visual course. I'd love to see what you've actually made. On Instagram, I'm Bring Your Own Laptop. Okay, check that out. Also, remember there's a cheat sheet you can download. Bring Your Own Laptop. It's free under resources. Check all that out. And yeah, I'll see you in another video. Bye now.